Coming up this week, off screen.
Jake Gyllenhaal is stronger.
You better watch out for Levi Miller.
Prepare for Brigsby Bear.
We meet Menashe.
Richard Gere and Steve Coogan have dinner.
Ai Weiwei charts the human flow.
David Niven faces a matter of life and death.
And all shall tremble before the blade of the Immortal.
All those to come and more, off screen.
This is Off Screen. Off Screen. Off Screen. Off Screen. With the latest film news and reviews, this is Off Screen, the on-screen radio show.
Welcome to Off Screen, I'm Vanka.
I'm Kelly Needham.
So, Ms. Needham, some housekeeping we have to address while you're here, because obviously...
The elephant in the room.
Elephant in the room.
Don't call me an elephant.
So, we normally pre-record this show on Wednesdays,
yes.
Right, so that we can get this out in time, get it produced, everything in time. However, this week I was stuck at the junket for Molly's game.
No,
I know, hashtag first world problems, I know. Unfortunately, that meant that the only time we could do this was on Thursday, which is right now, and Kase has a gig. So
lucky for me.
I know. So you're here to fill in the hipster void, as it were. You've brought your glasses and fashionable sweater along for the occasion.
It's a Deadpool Christmas sweater.
Does it say Merry Chimichangas?
It does.
Excellent. But of course, Kase will be back next week. We have already we've planned the Star Wars episode. However, because of Kase being absent this week, that does leave one thing hanging, and that's the Disaster Artist. Because Kase really wanted to review that, so I have told him that we will hold that review for him, that he can review that when he comes back. I haven't seen it, so I can't talk about it anyway.
Oh, fair enough then.
So
okay.
it's only Kase. Kase is doing that review, so it's all there for when he gets back.
Reason to come back next week then.
Exactly. So tune in next week when we'll be talking about the film that came out this week, but was press shown 2 weeks ago. So...
Too complicated.
Funny old world, isn't it? It really is. Turns out there is such a thing as too much James Franco. But so let's start with a piece of film news then. Is there something you like in the film news that you want to talk about?
There is. And I don't know how I feel about it. Because
Okay.
I have mixed feelings about Disney doing their live action remakes.
Do you have mixed feelings about this?
I didn't like Jungle Book.
Okay, but what about
I
Little Beauty and
didn't
the
like
Beast?
Cinderella.
Beauty and the Beast.
I wasn't massively keen on Beauty and the Beast.
In your family, the family of
I
musical
know.
performers, really, this is not a thing you do. Okay.
But I'm looking forward to Lion King. But anyway, that's not the news.
Okay.
The news is that they've cast Mulan.
Okay, they have cast Mulan, and just for once, they've actually kept their word. And they said, we're going for a predominantly Asian cast. Well, okay, that's impressive if you manage it. None of us expected them to actually go through with it.
It's true.
I mean, I'll be honest, I kind of thought the chick who plays Blink on X-Men The Gifted, whatever it is on TV, kind of thought she'd be going along for like Jamie Chung, I want to say. I kind of thought she'd be going along for it just as the most American Asian actress they could find. But no, they've got an actress. What's her name now?
Her name is Liu Yifei.
Yifei, I believe her name is, yeah.
Yifei.
And by all accounts, perfect for the gig, so...
I'm still expecting the American sidekick, Gillian Bell. We were talking about her earlier. Perfect. She's going to be the white woman sidekick.
I'm gonna confess something to you now. But obviously, as you know, my sister is like half a decade younger than me, and so at the point that Mulan was out, I was in my teen years. I didn't really pay much attention to my sister, so I never really paid attention to the films she watched, etc.
Yeah.
So I'm not really that up to speed on Mulan. I've seen Mulan, don't remember it. All I remember is Melinda May from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is Mulan.
Yes.
And Eddie Murphy's a dragon? Is that right? Mushu.
Yeah, there isn't a white woman sidekick, but that won't stop them. We know what they're doing with Aladdin.
We know what they're doing with Aladdin, yeah. But no, they have, to be fair, they have replaced, they replaced Jasmine with a white woman, to be fair. But
Have they?
Well, Naomi Scott's basically a white chick, right?
Is that still a girl from Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, to be fair, yeah.
But I think they sort of explain that way as, meh, she's got dark hair, no one's counting.
Brown eyes.
Brown eyes, no one's counting. It's what we call it the Antonio Banderas defence.
Oh, such a good point.
Yeah, you see.
Awkward.
So for someone like me...
I'm Egyptian.
Exactly.
No, you're not.
For someone like me, I don't get to get offended every time they cast Antonio Banderas as an Arab because... at least they went for someone with an ethnicity. At least it's not like the olden times when they would just tell us Charlton Heston or Sean Connery were Egyptians. That's happened, by the way.
So awkward.
Sean Connery once played an Egyptian with a Scottish accent.
Well, we know many of them.
Yes.
To be fair.
Opposite a Frenchman playing a Scotsman.
But then you look at, what was that one? It's not even that long ago where it was about Egyptian gods and it was Gerard Butler and he was Scottish in it as
Gods
well.
of Egypt.
That's it. Oh, it was awful.
Got its ass handed to it. It really did.
Anyway, do we know this lady from somewhere? Is she in films?
No, I don't actually. I don't know her myself. Well, she has a small following, so
Cool.
They seem very happy. So the internet has translated this for us. So that's fair play.
I'm just hoping someone's going to cover the Christina Aguilera song, which I'm not going to sing right now. But
I've forgotten she even did that. But well, Kelly Clarkson's still around. She could cover it. I don't know. Who is a young female singer? I'm so out of touch.
Kelly Clarkson is not it.
She's not it. Kelly Clarkson is not a young female singer anymore. No. She's now a middle-aged man.
She is.
Okay, all right. Let me get to. Okay, let's plug the competitions of the podcast. Yes. We've got some great competitions on the go. One I'm very, very, very excited about. So, at the moment, go onto the on-screen website, onscreenfilm.com/competitions, or just onscreenfilm.com, and just, you know what, put in some effort. Scroll down.
Browse around.
Come on, we're not doing all the work for you. Anyway, there's some competitions. All you need to do is enter your details. And
what can we win?
Them.
That's what the people want to know.
I'm dragging this out because I like keeping you in suspense. So, The Hitman's Bodyguard.
Ooh.
Right.
Nice.
Not only are we giving you the chance to win that on DVD, we are also giving you with it a poster signed by Samuel L. Jackson and Salma Hayek.
What?
And we have more than one.
What?
I know, I'm shocked too. The signed poster, we have more than one of these.
Did you get them signed personally?
I did not personally, the publicist did that for us, but we are also giving away Blu-rays of Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, the first 5 minutes of which are actually the best film of this year.
I was going to say, based on what you told me, it's worth it just for the opening.
First 5 minutes, best film of this year.
Cool.
The rest of it, not so much. Very good, but it's not Fifth Element.
But we're coming up to Christmas, where you want to put films on and kind of fall asleep, so that works.
And Now TV don't have Valerian, so you can't watch that at Christmas. So ha.
There you go.
They are showing Beauty and the Beast on Christmas Day, though, incidentally.
Yeah.
I will be watching it. We're also giving away England Is Mine, which I never got the chance to see, which is the Morrissey biopic. You're not a Morrissey fan?
I like some of his songs.
Are you that one person that didn't have a Morrissey phase as a teenager?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what Kermit always says. Everyone grows out their Morrissey phase, except Morrissey.
But
yeah, there you go. So, okay, quick review then. Let's get this one done in 4 minutes. What have we got? What was our first review of the week? We're going to go with Stronger. Oh, podcast. We didn't plug podcast.
Plug that podcast.
Plug that podcast. I said plug that podcast then.
Plug it too.
Plug that podcast. Yeah. No, okay, podcast edition, extended stuff, more reviews, Moment of Cage, more film news, all after the end credits on the podcast edition. Find it on Acast, find it on Deezer, find it on iTunes. Just pick your podcast platform of preference. Go on, choose it. And now we shall review Stronger.
I was very impressed with that. The alliteration was in there and everything.
Oh, thank you. I pride myself on my alliteration. So, Stronger, which is the second movie this year about the Boston Marathon bombing. Because obviously we kind of started this year with one. Patriots Day was right at the beginning of the year.
That was Mark
Wahlberg, yeah. And now we have Jake Gyllenhaal in one, because originally there was meant to be 3.
Right.
There was Patriots Day, there was this, and there was another one starring Casey Affleck. And the Casey Affleck one, because of the other 2, just got folded up and added to Patriots Day. So now you only have 2.
Well, a good thing for us based on his...
So, yeah, exactly. So now we have this one from director David Gordon Green, who is, of course, going to direct the Halloween reboot next. This stars Jake Gyllenhaal as the Costco... He was a Costco worker, Jeff Bowman. She spelled Bauman. I don't know if he kind of briefly factors into the plot of Patriots Day. I don't know if you know the story.
I never saw it.
He's the man who stood by the finish line of the marathon.
Yeah.
When the bomb went off, it took both his legs, and he identified the bomber.
Ah, okay.
And, yeah. So what the film does, though, is the film takes us not down that path of exploring that, but actually kind of just dismissing it. So story happens, sort of 5-10 minutes in, we have the bombing. It's almost an offhand thing that not that he identifies the bomber, but having identified the bomber gives him a certain level of fame, a low-level sort of local fame. He becomes a sort of local hero because of it. What we then have is him adjusting to his life, in a wheelchair, with prosthetic legs, having to basically rebuild his life and, walk again, as he puts it. His whole dream is he wants to walk with the love of his life again, she's played by Tatiana Maslany from, do you ever see Orphan Black? That series.
No.
It's like big on Netflix.
Yeah.
I saw her in The Woman in Gold. She played the young Helen Mirren in The Woman in Gold.
Ooh.
But
Fancy.
yeah, she's a great actress. So the internet tells me for every time there's a new episode of Orphan Black. And having seen the movie, I'm inclined to agree with them. She is his ex-girlfriend. He goes to the race to try and impress her. Bomb goes off. And there's a certain guilt element involved. This is him asking her to become part of his life after the fact.
How you doing?
Yeah, I didn't get you at a bad time, but it's the Bruins playoff game against Chicago next week, and they asked me to come out there on the ice.
On the ice?
Yeah, I'm not not to play, but to be the band captain and wave the flag. It's kind of like singing the national anthem, but for people who suck at singing.
You sure you want to do that?
Well, everybody says I should. It's the Stanley Cup, so. I was wondering if maybe you wanted to come with me and my family. I don't think that I could do it without you. And I know that's not really fair for me to say, and I'm sorry, but I really need you right now.
This has had a weird controversy surrounding it initially because people were annoyed that they had cast an actor with legs to play a role that involved him not having legs, despite the fact that, to begin with, he does have legs. And the argument was raised, they could just CGI legs onto, an actor who didn't have legs. Well, that's twisted logic, and that doesn't even justify any kind of serious discussion. That's, because obviously they're hiring Jake Gyllenhaal. They're not hiring a guy with legs. They're hiring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Well, yeah, you'd think that there was more than that led to the casting. There was more than
that. It wasn't just, we need a guy with legs, get that Jake fellow. No, it was, get Jake Gyllenhaal. Having sat through the film, I'd been told in advance the CGI and special effects work that's gone into, effectively, the Lieutenant Dan trick, which he actually acknowledges at one point in the film. One of his first things is to write down the words LT Dan. They are genuinely impressive. What really sells them, though, is how Gyllenhaal's performance makes it so seamless that you don't even notice they're there. You know that whole thing where if you don't notice the editing in a movie, that means it's edited well.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing here. You don't notice these effects. That's how seamless it is. It's like Caesar in Planet of the Apes. You forget that's a special effect.
Like Superman's mustache.
You never forget that's an effect. No, Gyllenhaal's terrific. Maslany is absolutely superb as well. There's a great screenplay by John Polono in there. Really tight, attention-grabbing direction by David Gordon Green. And the story genuinely is interesting. And I thought it was something different for Jake Gyllenhaal, actually, because there's a level of vulnerability to him that I don't really think we really get elsewhere with him. He is an actor who can do emotion, but he doesn't tend to do big emotional roles.
He tends to do more kind of offbeat emotional roles, doesn't he?
When he does an emotional role, it's something like Demolition.
Yeah.
Which is, I caught a bit on narrative. I'm like, wow, I'd forgotten about this movie. This is so much fun. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I do think it's worth saying. I think actually it's a stronger film than Patriots Day was. It's certainly more emotional. It has a lot of that America kind of thing going for it in a wonderful way. It's not afraid to delve into the sort of white trash elements of its characters. It never shies away from those. But at the same time, it doesn't want to navel gaze about it. It doesn't want to rubberneck about it either. Sorry,
it's a real story as well. This is the real guy.
This is the real guy, and I really enjoyed it. It was when you get the bit at the end of the film with the photo, and I'm sort of thinking, here comes the Peter Gabriel cover of Heroes right about now. Never comes, but I mean, I'll be honest, I did really like it, and I vanished any memory I had of Patriots now.
Nice.
So win for me.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
Savvy. So, where should we go now?
Should we have another review?
Have another review. What do you want to review?
Well, I kind of don't want to, but I know we have to.
Oh, it's the dinner, isn't it?
It's the dinner.
You've seen this and hated it, didn't you?
Unfortunately. I mean, I think my words to you when I arrived here were, what the was that?
Okay, so I was looking forward to this. I'd say, I mean, on paper, I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, premise sounds awesome.
Premise does. So what you have are two sets of wealthy parents. The patriarchs of both families are brothers.
Yes.
So you have Steve Coogan, who's a sort of more of an academic, isn't he? He's a teacher.
He's a teacher, ex-teacher.
Ex-teacher.
Yeah.
So it's Steve Coogan with an American accent, we should stress, because that's going to come up later.
His best Willem Dafoe.
He's married to is it Laura Linney?
Yeah.
And then his senator older brother, who's played by Richard Gere, is married to Rebecca Hall.
Yes.
In full, razor bob cuts, stern-faced, sass-faced.
But she's the new wife.
Yeah, she is. And the idea is they meet for a very posh dinner in a sort of exclusive, out-of-the-way restaurant.
Ridiculous restaurant.
A nouveau cuisine, haute cuisine or nouveau cuisine, something like that.
Yeah.
And the idea is they are meeting, they don't get together very often, they've drifted apart, however their sons have not. Their sons are actually quite close friends. Mm-hmm. And what has happened is that both of their children have been involved in some sort of a tragedy. It's not gone public yet, and the parents are meeting to determine exactly what's to be done about it. Here's a clip in which basically none of that's getting talked about.
I'm not going.
Oh, it takes 3 months to get a reservation to this place,
And
I
Stan
really
got it overnight. Congratulations.
Okay,
I'm not
well,
going.
so you don't want them here. You
That's
refuse
right.
to go to their place. You don't want to go
I'd
anywhere.
rather stay home with you. That restaurant's a joke. Anyway, it's ridiculous.
Sounds super exclusive and sexy and food art. Like going to France.
During the German occupation, maybe.
No, look, I'm sure we're going to get a great table.
Great table on a great restaurant,
For God's sake.
great dinner and great company.
do this.
It comes at great expense.
Stan will pay. I need help.
I don't mean that kind of expense. You pay a bigger price for not being able to check.
I see what you mean now, actually, the Willem Dafoe thing. He does sound like he's impersonating Willem Dafoe.
It's really distracting.
It is, isn't it?
Not that you need distracting.
Not as distracting as his horrible taste in sweaters.
True.
And also, it's just, I feel like if you ever need someone to play John Oliver in a biopic, Steve Coogan could probably do that.
That's true.
It's true, isn't it? Okay, so this isn't very good.
No.
Is the short way of putting it. It should be.
It could have been.
Right, if we'd gone with the basic remit, the plot as I just laid it out to you, which is parents get together, children have been involved in a tragedy, let's discuss it, whole thing set at a dinner table, there's some flashbacks to the thing. That's the movie. That's like a David Mamet play. It would be terrific. However, Israeli director Oven, what's his name?
No idea.
Oren Moverman, sorry.
Well, shame on you.
He was the director of Rampart and Time Out of Mind. Do you remember Rampart with the Woody Harrelson?
I really didn't like Rampart either.
I didn't. And Time Out of Mind had, I think, some moments but didn't quite work. That presumably is why he's reteamed with Richard Gere for this. Because of that film. Right, the cast is there, and they are trying. Steve Coogan can't make that accent work.
No, he can't.
It just feels silly throughout. Laura Linney feels like I don't know. It feels like half of a script's missing at different points.
Yeah, but I feel like that's intentional. Like it's the kind of film that made me feel stupid, and I don't like that.
That's fair. The problem is that it just keeps going off on these weird tangents that have absolutely nothing to do with anything ever.
Yes.
Like there are flashbacks to scenes like, why have you shown me that? Why? Why did I need to see that? What possible information have I gleaned from the past 5 minutes you have just spent in this bizarre flashback to, the time you were all at a lake house or something like that? I don't care.
Yeah.
Go back to the story, please.
Yeah, who is this person? I don't know who they are. And they'll say something, you think, I've missed something.
Exactly. Well,
on?
there's a whole thing. It took me a good 3 or 4 goes round to actually work out who Chloe Sevigny was meant to be.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah. It just feels muddled. It's overlong. It's 2 hours long, and you're sort of thinking, keep this at the dinner table, have some flashbacks to the kids. This is 90 minutes. Go.
And don't even get me started on the end. I mean, clearly we can't go there for spoilers.
No, we can't.
Don't even get me started on that.
Oh, I know. As I say, I mean, if anyone's the MVP of this, it's probably Richard Gere, but I think that's by default, almost, by virtue of being the biggest name at the table.
And also, the last thing I saw him in was movie 43, so the only way is up.
That's very true. No, I didn't rate the dinner at all. I don't know what it is with Oren Movement. His films just don't grab me. I don't think he's a particularly insightful writer. I can see the intent is there. I can see that intent is there and the effort is being put in, but the results just aren't showing up for me. And his direction, I find his direction a little plain. This is basically just soft focus, basically. This is a soft focus chamber piece for the most part.
It's just like, it feels like it's trying to be really arty and really deep. And
You're like, please, there's more art on the dinner plates. Come on, mate. Pack it up.
I did have a quick look, actually, and it is based on a book.
Oh, okay.
But
We
from
thought
what I
stage play.
understand, from what I understand, though, they've completely changed it.
So they've lawnmower manned it?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Fair enough.
Why? I don't know.
Who knows with these things? Who knows? Shall we skip the news and go straight to the top 10 then?
Yeah,
top 10, top 5.
I'm going to say, not done that for a while.
Yeah.
Top 5, please.
Number 5.
It is Murder on the Orient Express.
Alas, I have not seen Murder on the Orient Express, and at this rate, it'll be gone by next week.
Good
So I
job
won't have to.
I have then, isn't it?
Oh, you have?
No.
Oh, my
Absolutely not.
Don't tease me, man.
I'm sorry. I just know you guys have been saying for weeks now. None of you have seen it.
That's fair. So, have you got a tweet for me?
I do. At the least we have a tweet. So this is from A Mewis. So at Mewis Razak MR. Apologies.
Okay.
So he says, Murder on the Orient Express. Mind-bogglingly astonishing. Incredible, fast-paced drama. Like this bit. Like a book you can't put down. 5 stars.
You mean like it comes from?
I don't know.
Okay.
Number 4.
Wonder.
Wonder, which I really enjoyed. Now, having said that, it is mawkish, cloy, nauseating. It's practically dripping in its own self-indulgent vomit, and yet it's so charming and so sweet. I'm not kidding. Go and see this, Kel, and I promise.
don't know if I can.
I promise you will cry at least once.
That's what I mean. I'm not sure I need that.
At least once, possibly up to 4 or 5 times throughout the course of this film. You, of all people, will weep in this film.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm up
Because I know a few of your hot buttons in films that will really get you going. I think this.
Well, you gave a big hint last week, so I know what one of the things is.
Did
I'm not even going to repeat it.
Oh, okay. I think I know.
Listen to last week if you don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, we thought we were being clever. Never mind. But no, I really like Jacob Tremblay in this. I think he's tremendous. Owen Wilson, surprisingly good as well. You know, who'd have thought, like, wow.
Occasionally you've got to get it right.
Yeah. It turns out broken clock can be right exactly twice a day. And Julia Roberts' supporting role. But I really liked Isabel Vudokovic, I think, who plays the sister. I think she's tremendous in it. Mm-hmm. But alas, do we have a tweet?
We do. So we have at Christina Haskell.
Okay.
And she says, everyone needs to go and see the Wonder movie right now. This movie needs to be shown everywhere. Classrooms, clubs, support groups, daycares, and especially homes. Teach your kids to have an open mind and know that everyone has their own battles, so be kind. Hashtag Wonder Movie.
You know, I say similar things about Snowpiercer.
Number 3.
It's Justice League.
Oh, yay. Oh, no. I don't know where to begin with this anymore.
Well, do you know, I actually didn't hate it as much as you hate it.
I know that, but like I've pointed out to you, you went into it after being told by many, many people in the world that it was a terrible film and the worst thing that could possibly be.
Yeah, but I went in with zero expectations. It was rubbish, but I was entertained. Things were flashy. Things blew up.
But
I mean, I cringed a lot. Don't get me wrong.
this is the thing.
cringed
They weren't
a lot.
flashy. They were just badly lit and cartoon-like in their sort of incomplete CGI renders.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I mean, do you know what I only just noticed earlier on a clip from that film?
What?
That there is a moment in which Aquaman actually quotes a character from Rick and Morty.
Does he?
When I think he's flying with Cyborg and he says, "My man."
Ah.
And I'm like, why would you do this?
Yeah, I mean, I found him really annoying. I found Ezra Miller really annoying. Well, I found most of them really
I found
annoying.
them all really annoying. In
But
their
it was-
windowless rooms with their
It was
completely
like, things happened, whatever.
with their Ghost George Superman. It's a horrible movie. It's like, I mean, Wonder Woman's there to be objectified, really?
Yeah, that was
not
weird.
only can we now say it's 2017, for God's sake, we can also say, hang on a minute, we've just had 2 movies about Wonder Woman.
And she was a different character.
Technically 3, and the whole point was, you don't objectify Wonder Woman, yo. But you know what? Only a movie as truly soullessly poor as Justice League ever really could. So please tell me what Twitter has to say on the matter.
So we've got The Competitor. So at Competitor says, BVS was great. Justice League was the best I saw this year. And if you think different, then you're one of the critics.
Well, it's actually factually accurate, and He's never seen Snowpiercer.
Number 2.
Daddy's Home 2.
Daddy's Home 2. Well, do you know what? The whole Mel Gibson thing is starting to actually pick up minor traction. People are starting to... A lot of, like, let's just say women's mags are sort of writing articles about it online, things like that, about the... Has anyone noticed this? And you're like, yes, a lot of people noticed it because a lot of people saw the movie. Yes, it is inappropriate that Mel Gibson is in what's being pitched as a family movie. Yes, it is inappropriate to have to witness not once, not twice, but 3 times Mel Gibson tell a small child that it's perfectly okay to walk up to a girl, grab her, plant one on her, and then slap her on the ass and say, thanks, sweetheart.
And it works out.
And it works out because this is a movie. And do you know what? To be honest with you, you come away from it all and you think, if you can just get over that shock, the film is basically funny. And it does have a great Christmas musical sort of sequence in it that I really enjoyed. It's not got enough John Cena for my liking. Mark Wahlberg's been watered down to the point of being barely recognisable. And only Will Ferrell's really giving it much of a go because John Lithgow and Mel Gibson are just in the corner playing themselves. But you know what? It was still better than Bad Mum's Christmas. So, meh.
Should we see what Twitter said?
Yeah, go on.
So, at BobGerante1.
I like it.
There you go.
Same about the 1.
I don't know what's that. Yeah. Anyway, they say, went to watch Daddy's Home 2, and I don't know what's up with me, but I was getting all emotional. I never get emotional.
I love how when you say it, you sound like a hitman in a movie. It's like a Liam Neeson character.
Trying to do my Willem Dafoe.
Number 1.
It's Paddington 2.
Have you had the pleasure yet?
No, I haven't seen the first one.
Have you not seen Paddington?
No.
What is wrong with people? Everyone.
I kind of thought it wouldn't be very good.
Oh, this is the thing, right? It's one of those films that when you saw the first Paddington, you knew instantly, oh my God, this is going to become an institution. This is going to become a national thing.
Yeah.
And it's not caught on quite as much as I would have liked, but it does seem to have built some traction. I mean, it has made Paddington a fully recognisable character again, which is quite nice.
I have to say, I've only heard really amazing things about this Paddington 2.
I guarantee you, because it's been 3 years this Christmas since Paddington was out.
Yeah.
So it's got to be on TV somewhere this Christmas.
If it is, I will watch it. I promise.
You absolutely must watch it. And then, when we do our sort of post-Christmas cinema trip that we always do, where you fall asleep, we'll go see Paddington 2. There you go.
Okay, deal.
That's it. And we'll prepare some marmalade sandwiches, and because I love the film so much, I will go and see it again with adults, and I don't care. I love this movie.
It's the only way to see the movies. I was charmed by.
At one point, I openly wept in this movie. That's how much I love this movie. Oh yeah, it'll break you too.
Oh man.
So, is anyone broken on Twitter?
Well, we've got at Eric Matic, and he says, I have the largest grin on my face, absurdly adorable and heartwarmingly charming. This was also shot stupid good. That's capital stupid. Talking Wes Anderson-esque. Couldn't believe my eyes. Cinema is alive and well, and it's all thanks to Paddington 2.
So, Wes Anderson is shot stupid good? Love it.
Stupid good, yo.
I'm remembering that when Isle of Dogs comes out.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
A bunch of a-holes. And we're back. So, Ms. Needham, it's time for me to talk about something that I've been really looking forward to discussing with someone.
Okay.
And that is Brigsby Bear.
Did you say Paddington Bear?
No, not Paddington Bear. Brigsby Bear.
Ah, of course, Brigsby, yeah.
Right, so, the Brigsby Bear, I'll be honest with you, I kind of assumed it was a character that existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Paddington. I assumed it was like, maybe it's like an American thing I just don't know about. Right. No, and that's the point.
Okay.
Right, okay, so, you can just strap yourself in because this gets mad. Okay, so, you've got a guy, he's kind of in his early 20s, kind of college-age guy, James / Jimmy. He's played by Kyle Mooney from Saturday Night Live, he also writes and produces the film.
Okay.
And he's that guy, if you don't know what he looks like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He is living in a bunker underground, post-apocalyptic, with his 2 parents, his dad of whom is played by Mark Hamill. His mum is Jane Addams from Hung. Remember his sheep imp from Hong? Yeah. And, right, he lives in this underground bunker. He devotes his time to trying to decode the messages of this TV show, Brigsby Bear, on his antiquated, very 1980s-esque retro technology that he has, because that's, at the point the world ended. And this show, Brigsby Bear, seems to have begun life as like a play school-style children's show that taught kids how to read, and then has weirdly evolved into this full-blown, cleverly orchestrated, mapped-out, story-arced space opera, like Battlestar Galactica or something. Right. And that's what he's doing. He's trying to decipher the conspiracy theories within. However, all of this falls by the wayside when one day the doors of the bunker fly open, the FBI break in and decide to remove the kidnap victim that these two people have been hiding underground for decades.
Say what?
Exactly. It also then transpires that Brigsby Bear was a product of his father/abductor to keep him in line. Yeah, his father has been hiring studio space and waitresses to star in this thing.
So it's kind of evolved as he's got older.
That's why it's evolved. It's evolved specifically to him. Right. He then decides, as he's reunited with his birth family and brought into the modern world, which he has no knowledge of whatsoever, that he wants to finish the story of Brigsby Bear. And as it happens, there's a shed load of filming equipment left over from his dad, because obviously the police have impounded it, and all he needs to do is get that back, and he will guerrilla-style film his own Brigsby Bear conclusion. We have a clip of the police officer handling his case, played by Greg Kinnear, turning up at his house to deliver some of this equipment.
James, just the man I was looking for.
Wait, where's all your soldier stuff?
Huh? I'm off duty right now. Now look, there's no way I could get you everything on that list, all right? But forensics does have more evidence than they know what to do with. So I figured they wouldn't miss a couple items, like...
The Sordis crystal!
That's what I thought. Yeah, and I found this in back. Wasn't on the last, but...
Four-tip staff! I thought that was stuck in a time flux.
I don't know what that is, but it's got a nice weight to it. And last but not least, one of these bad boys.
That's Brigsby.
Carl Mooney there with Greg Kinnear, and I love this movie so much.
Sounds insane.
It's bonkers, but it's bonkers in that way that Donnie Darko was bonkers.
Yeah.
Imagine, if you will, the more comedic answer. I mean, it's still quite blackly comedic, but it's got a slight bit more broad appeal to it than Donnie Darko.
Not as confusing.
Not as confused, a bit more straight. It's more straightforward, but it treads similar ground in one sense. That sort of off kilter, slightly out of the way kind of way that Donnie Darko dealt with things. If I were going to compare it to anything, really, though, I would say, do you ever see Blast from the Past with Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone?
Yeah.
Right. Imagine that movie if, when Brendan Fraser got out of the bunker, he was on PCP. Right.
Okay.
That's basically this movie. But it doesn't have Christopher Walken, it has Mark Hamill instead. And Mark Hamill's evidently up to the job, which no one expected. So the cast are all brilliant, absolutely all brilliant. I liked Matt Walsh and Michaela Watkins, who I think is really underrated, as his birth parents. June Adams is always fun to see. Carl Mooney, I thought, really brought something to this. Managed to resist wandering into kind of nebbish, kind of territory. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I really did. I didn't expect to at all, but I liked how it had all these great elements of other great movies. It did something unique with them. It didn't fall back on basically aping those movies too much. There's a bit of Be Kind Rewind in there, for instance, with the staging of the movie. The whole retro Brigsby thing is fantastic. Some of the bizarre messages that are in the bits that we see, for instance.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued by that, I have to say.
Remember, kids, sweat is just your brain's way of pushing the poison out of your body. Weird little things like that, in this 80s VHS retro kind of a style. All looks like a live-action Super Ted.
Right.
It's deranged, it's hilarious, it's very sad and moving in places. I loved it. I really did.
Is this going on wide release, or is it more of an indie?
I think it is more of a limited release. It's one of those where if you get it in the mainstream multiplex, I think it'd be on like one screening a night.
Yeah.
But I believe it is on demand. So,
okay.
I think it is on demand as well. So it's one of those releases where it goes out on a small number of cinemas, but you get it on demand on the same day.
Sweet.
So, yeah. So, and face multiplex or 15 quid for at home. I think I'll pay the 15. So
same price.
Same price. So, what have we got? Give me a piece of film news to crack on with real quick. What have we got?
Well, one of my favourite cast members from Mindhunter has been cast in The Girl in the Spider's Web.
Oh, that's the Mindhunter's the Netflix serial killer series.
It is,
I
yeah.
think they just greenlit a second one of those as well.
Yes, they have, and I'm so pleased. In fact, actually, I don't think it's just greenlit. I think it's going to be coming out soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was quick then.
Yeah, I'm very pleased.
I've seen about 3 or 4 episodes, loved it.
Oh, it's amazing.
Not had a chance. I know the guy you're talking about now. What's his name?
So he plays in, I don't know what his real name is, but in Mindhunter he plays the serial killer Ed Kemper.
Yes, he's the first one they interview.
He is nuts.
Very much a Red Dragon kind of a quality to him, isn't there?
He is creepy.
So he's joined The Girl in the Spider's Web as, I believe, a computer hacker friend of Elizabeth Salander.
Should have known computer hacker. If anyone sees a picture of him, they'll get that straight away.
Oh, very much. One thing I will say, they have also cast the male lead in that as well. You know, what's his name? Blomqvist?
Blomqvist?
The reporter. The main male character in the series.
Oh, in Mindhunter?
No, in Girl with the Dragon. We're trying two very different things now. So you've got Elizabeth Salander, you've also got Michael Blomqvist. They've recast him because she's Claire Foy from The Crown.
Right.
And he is going to be Sverrir Gudnason from Borg McEnroe.
Oh, interesting.
Good bit of casting. I kind of thought it was going to be Matthias Schoenaerts, but I think Kase was gunning for that, to be honest. Yeah. But, Kase loves a bit of Matty shoes. But, yeah, so The Girl in the Spider's Web, directed by Fede Alvarez, who did Don't Breathe. Mm-hmm. And he's out. Is it the end of next year? I think it's out.
I don't know.
I look forward to it, nonetheless.
Well, yeah.
But I think it's the end of next year. So, have we got a review to do? Or we've got a quick review.
Quick one. Blade of the Immortal. What's that all about?
Blade of the Immortal, which is the 100th film by Takeshi Mike.
100th film.
100th. And,
okay.
yes. So, this is based on the comic book series of the same name. Manga series of the same name. And the general, you've got an Immortal, he's made immortal after...
Does he have a blade?
He does have a blade. He's made immortal after his face was disfigured and his grieving sister, was killed in front of him.
Okay.
He has then been doomed to sort of walk the earth forever. And then one day, I think about 50 years or a century after the inciting events that left him that way to begin with, he is contacted by a young girl who actually does remind him of his sister and asks to help her avenge her murdered parents and hunt down a gang of, basically sort of kind of organised criminal ties, sort of low-level organised crime gang. Only samurai. So what you've basically got is it plays kind of like Logan.
Yeah.
Or a Western.
I was going to say, this does not feel in any way like an original plot. Like, I feel like there's a lot of films that you could have given that exact same, apart from the Immortal thing. But description too.
It's a very, very worn trope.
Yeah.
But the idea is actually, it's far-fetched, it's eccentric, it's over-the-top gory, it's cartoonish.
Okay.
It's almost, you remember when in Kill Bill when she fights the crazy 88?
Yeah.
Like that scene all the time. It's very tightly compacted in the frame. Which I think is actually sort of a criticism more than a blessing, actually. For me, I thought it lacked scope because it tended to keep its action quite confined. And as such, because this wandering journey of a movie kind of feels a lot more insular and smaller than it needed to be.
And is it subtitled, I presume?
It is subtitled. It's 2 hours, 20 minutes long. Ooh. A good chunk of it's in black and white. It's one of those where I sit there and think, any fans of Takeshi Mike will absolutely adore it because it's all of his hallmarks, but perhaps slightly sillier than you're used to. I think those looking for a great sort of, samurai western type thing, to be honest, I think there are better ones out there. I mean, I kind of thought The Man with the Iron Fists was a bit better, to be honest, but, my love of the RZA. So, but no, I say, there were moments in it I had a lot of fun with it. So, Takuya Kimura, I think, who plays Manji, the lead, I thought he was very likeable in it, but it is very much a man with no name kind of a role. It's very much that Clint Eastwood, the wandering stranger kind of a role.
I'm silent.
Yes, silent but deadly, kind of a character.
I wasn't going to describe it as that, because that is something else, fan.
But if you saw something like The Villainess recently, I think it does hold The Villainess up in slightly higher regard. I personally would rather watch The Villainess again, because I think that did something new and more inventive with this sort of an archetype. But it's not a complete miss by any stretch of the imagination. I had a lot of fun with it. So, yeah. And they did give me a nice little fidget spinner. So,
win.
That was very fun. I gave it to Calvin.
How dare you.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back. So, Ms. Needham.
Should we do another review?
We should.
I've actually seen this one too.
You have, so better watch out.
Better watch out.
Which comes to us from writer-director Chris Peckover. Relative unknown. I think he'd done something. Let me just find out what it was. He'd done something relatively lower scale. I think it was still in horror, actually. It was undocumented. There you go. Okay. So, which was a documentary, obviously, called Undocumented. Go figure. Right, this is how to describe this. Well,
without spoilers.
Okay, so I tell you what, shall I give you the plot synopsis from the trailer?
Yes.
That's a much better idea. Okay, so the plot synopsis from the trailer is there is a young, I think he's like 12-year-old boy, Luke, played by Levi Miller, his hapless stoner 12-year-old friend, Garrett, played by Ed Oxenbould, from Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day.
And The Visit.
Ho. And... because that's how you remember him. And, of course, Levi Miller himself was the lead in Pan, which I promise is worse than you think it was. Worse than you remember it being. I saw it recently. And the idea is these two boys, well, in particular Luke, is attempting to use this one Christmas night while his parents are out to try and seduce his 17-year-old babysitter the day before she moves away and goes out of his life forever.
What could go wrong?
He's going to consummate his love. What could possibly go wrong? She is, of course, played by Olivia de Jong. She has no interest in this underage boy for obvious reasons.
Who would have thought?
She's kind of an outright authority figure to him, actually.
She is.
She also has a sort of douchebag, on-again, off-again boyfriend played by Dacre Montgomery. She has a male friend who may be something more as well, who may be her bit on the side. He's played by Alex Mychik.
Yep.
Ricky. Jeremy is the boyfriend. And the whole idea is... on the night that Luke is going to try and seduce his babysitter, their time together is interrupted by home invaders, forcing the two to hide in corners and try and escape these deadly intruders. And
who could they be?
And there might be something slightly more to it. Here is a clip of Levi Miller trying to get his babysitter drunk.
Luke? Lucas, what are you doing?
Oh, you what?
No, you are way too young to be drinking. Give me that.
Oh, this?
Yes, that. Give it to me. Lucas, stop. What has gotten into you?
One time me and Garrett drank a whole bottle. He puked so bad. He can't hold his liquor like me.
Wow, I'm super impressed, okay? Now give it. Lucas, I'm so serious right now. Don't. Thank you. Oh, my God.
Pardon me.
You forgot to shut the door, doofus.
I absolutely did not know that Olivia de Jong is the sister in The Visit as well. Okay, fantastic. That's brilliant, actually, metacasting in a strange way.
It is.
Okay, so this is brilliant.
Yeah.
This is stonkingly fun. This is absolutely the wild Christmas horror invasion thriller ride I wanted it to be. There are elements of so many great movies in this. Again, like Brigsby Bear, where it's taken great elements from great movies and done something wholly original with them. There is a sequence in this film that apes a certain family Christmas classic.
It's brilliant.
That's not only brilliant, but will make this a meme movie. There's a moment in this that's just going to be a meme forever.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Yeah, and it refers obviously to a certain Christmas film from the early 90s. It's just terrific. And a large part of the reason it works is, and I never thought I'd say this, It's Levi Miller. He's genuinely brilliant in this.
He's amazing in this. He really is.
I hate myself a little for having to say it.
But you can't stop watching him.
No, there's something about him. He's so magnetic in this.
Yeah.
Also, over the top, a little bit silly, a little bit sadistic.
Yeah, bless him.
So much fun. The thing is, I mean, if you're going with the trailer has, through virtue of pull quotes and review quotes, has given you something of an indication as to where this actually goes.
I'd say don't watch it then.
Avoid the trailer if possible. I will say it's the third part of a trilogy that's evolving the same concept. One is the original family film version. The other is a sort of 2011, 2012 horror version of the same thing. And now you've got this, which is sort of the bridging point between the two. What you've got is a film that is at once hilarious, as well as being sadistic, terrifying, and kind of magnetic and charming and alluring all at the same time. There's bits in here out of American Psycho, of all things, and Funny Games and The Strangers and all sorts of things. Like I say, great bits from great movies, used in an original and wholly interesting, unique way.
Just really unexpected. I think that's the thing.
Very much so. It does keep guessing.
Yeah, I didn't watch the trailer or anything. I knew absolutely nothing, and I think I enjoyed it so much more for it.
That's it. I think that the surprise factor with it is a very big thing. I think there are at least 2 points in the movie. In fact, pretty much with the acts, with the first to second and the second to third act, they do shift things up.
Yes.
In a surprising and very energetic way.
Yeah.
That will have you just go, wow, okay, we're really doing this.
Exactly. That's the thought.
Okay.
The exact thought that I had so many times in this. Like really?
We're doing this? Like,
okay.
Oh, sure. Okay, I'll go with that. And then Dacre Montgomery turns up, and you just think, oh, okay, I'm starting to like this guy. I never thought that'd happen. Like, it got pointed out to me, actually, he looks like what would happen if Channing Tatum and Zac Efron had a baby.
I guess so.
And now that I've been told that, I can't unsee it.
I feel like I now forgive him for Power Rangers.
Yes, well, I had that with Stranger Things. So, because as Billy, it's total hunk. Pure anti-Steve, but yeah, I really, really loved this. I think if you need a movie for this Christmas, like, just, sack off Man Who Invented Christmas and The Bad Mums and The Daddies. Just forget all those. Go and see this.
Yes.
If you're a horror fan, go and see it. If you're not a horror fan, if you're out of the horror game, you want to know what's going on in horror now, go and see this. It's brilliant. Another thing, what's the movie I like with the gambling games? Cheap Thrills.
I was exactly
bit like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love Cheap Thrills.
Yeah, it was a good film.
But I made you watch that.
You did, but you will have the same kind of...
Yeah, we're doing this? Really? They're going to cook the dog?
And it's got Patrick Warburton in it.
Yes, and Virginia Madsen as well.
Yeah, I mean, what happened to her? I mean, she's back, clearly.
Virginia Madsen is back. She's been on telly doing Designated Survivor.
Okay.
But I know, like, she was Hollywood's default B-list sex symbol for like 10 years.
Yeah, like
and then
80s.
she did Candyman and went away. And now she's back because Retro is in, and she's playing.
That kind of is what it is.
Yeah, and she's playing sort of middle-aged housewives or mums.
Yeah, sort of weird, sexy mum.
She does have a line of dialogue with Patrick Warburton, though, that is an absolute belly-bursting hilarity of a line.
Ooh, I don't know which one you mean.
I'll tell you after.
Tell me after.
It has to do with his Christmas decorations.
Oh yes,
you know
I
the
know
line.
what you mean.
You know the line.
Yes.
Everybody in our press show howling with laughter at that point. I will say this though: there were a surprising number of people, like other critics I'd spoken to, who really didn't get it. Did not get the film at all.
Oh.
And who actually found it quite abhorrent, found it quite offensive in terms of just how out there it was with the gore, with the sadism, etc. People found that really up and went, well, the fact that the comedy's in there should kind of tell you how this is meant to be taken. And so
Maybe
obviously
it's a generation thing.
Yeah, be aware this is something then that you do kind of clearly have to get on board with.
Yeah.
But provided you do, you are in for a hell of a time. So, I mean, you enjoyed it, presumably?
Definitely. I recommend it.
I enjoyed it as well. So, I'm definitely going to give it Film of the Week.
I would have thought so.
Oh, yes.
Not the dinner?
Not the dinner, God, no. I will say, though, Brigsby Bear. If you get the chance to see Brigsby Bear, you owe it to cinema as a concept to see this movie.
Yeah, you've made me excited for it. I want to go see it.
Just do see it. You may well hate it, but it's something different. It's something really different, and it does have charm, it does have fun, and it's absolutely worth seeing.
Excellent.
Okay, so...
What about next week? What's coming up?
Oh, next week. Well, I don't want to talk about the indie film yet.
I know which one you're going to talk about.
Next week, there's The Unseen.
That's the one.
Right, that's like a British version of Don't Look Now.
Oh, interesting.
We've got John Cena playing an animated bull in Ferdinand.
Yeah.
We've got Mountain, a documentary about a mountain, narrated by Willem Dafoe.
Ah.
As if to
Steve
answer
Coogan.
your question. Yeah, Steve Coogan doing it, yeah. We've got Bingo, King of the Mornings.
What?
Right. I've seen this film. And we are going to be talking to the director next week as well. I interviewed the director for this, Daniel Resende. This is a Brazilian movie based on a true story about the guy who played Bozo the Clown in the 80s.
Ooh, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
It's Goodfellas with a clown. Imagine that. Okay, I promise you we're going to have so much fun talking about it. We've got Mountains May Depart, which is an Asian film. We've got Shot Caller with... who's the dude who plays Jamie Lannister?
Oh,
his name.
It's like an Icelandic sounding name.
Oh man, what is his name? Just Jamie Lannister.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know the one.
Yeah, we've got The Prince of Nothingwood, and nothing could make me want to talk, any sooner about the small indie film that's going to round out the week, which is, of course, Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of it. It's this.
I haven't actually.
It's this little sci-fi sequel that's coming out.
No, I'm not sure I'm into it.
No, that's fair. That's fair. It's not got any Harrison Ford in it, so.
How could you bring that up?
Yeah, a lot of people are very sore about that still. Has got porgs though, which makes me very, very happy.
Oh my god, I am so excited about that.
Can't wait for the porgs.
I need one.
Oh, the digital bling that's showing up at this moment in time, by the way, is a porg.
Okay.
Right, because I wasn't going to go and get the Star Wars artwork. I thought, screw this, I'm just having a porg.
No, so cute.
Yeah. So Star Wars: The Last Jedi is finally here.
Now that's
week.
a Christmas movie.
Now that's a Christmas movie that doesn't involve Patrick Warburton. But, just see, better watch out. Come on, just see it. It's so worth it. In the meanwhile, this has been the Kelly Stoppage for On Screen. I've been Van Connor.
I've been Kelly Needham.
And we'll be back.
Just show me the way to get out of here, and I'll be on my way.
You've been listening to Off Screen. For more news and reviews, visit onscreenfilm.com.
Podcast extras.
Really? Do it with some vim and vigour, why don't you? Do you want to get a piece of film news before we do Human Flow? Or?
You want to do it?
Yeah, go for it. What do you want to do film news-wise? What you got for me?
I don't know much about it, but I heard that Matthew Vaughn is set to produce and possibly direct the film Courage.
I have no idea what it is. I'll be really honest, not a clue.
Some sort of sci-fi film.
Oh, it is a sci-fi film, but they've not said what the plot or the details of it are. We just know it's a sci-fi film called Courage. That's why I don't know anything about it.
There you go.
There's no details about it. It's just Matthew Vaughn's doing a sci-fi movie, yo. So
well, I don't feel so bad for not knowing anything about it, because there's nothing to know.
Well, that's absolutely true. I mean, do you know anything about art?
As a concept? Or?
I mean, I kind of feel the same. I don't really know that much about it. But I didn't know Ai Weiwei. I did not know the name Ai Weiwei until about a year ago when his posters were all over the underground. I'll be honest, in passing, I thought his name was Ai Weiwei.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I feel bad about that. Because, when you're on the underground, you don't really pay attention to the posters. You kind of just walk past them and catch them in the blink of an eye.
To be fair, it looks like Ai Weiwei.
It does look like Ai Weiwei. Because they always write the I as just a straight line.
Exactly.
It's not got the break. So I just thought it was Ai Weiwei.
Yeah, it's not our fault for being ignorant.
No, we're not culturally insensitive at all. So, Ai Weiwei has released a documentary.
About?
It is called The Human Flow.
Ugh.
And it's not porn. That's what you're thinking. It's a terrible name for porn, isn't it?
I was thinking more, Going to the toilet.
No, okay. It's not about UTIs or anything. Don't worry.
Cool.
Yeah. So it is. It's about the global refugee crisis. It's about the situations that the war, humanitarian crisis, things like that create an endless supply of refugees, and basically what life is like for them. Right, first and foremost, I have to say, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes long, which is the same length as Blade of the Immortal. And this doesn't have kung fu fighting scenes to break it up.
And it sounds quite heavy. That's a heavy subject.
It's really heavy.
Yeah.
It's tremendous. It's absolutely tremendous. I mean, it really gets to, it gets to its point, and it absolutely sticks you with that point. And you should be a real tough mother to not feel it.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
And of course, it looks amazing. It is so beautifully shot. However, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes long. So, of course, there's some time to fill. Once it's made that point, it wants to make that point again, and again, and again.
Oh, dear.
And again. And again and again. And it keeps making this point, and to the end of it, you just feel pummeled. You feel absolutely beaten down by it. And part of me thinks that actually is the intention. I think that is intentional. I feel like that's part of the almost performance art-like conception of this film.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, which it very well may be, then hats off. That's an absolutely impressive result. You absolutely achieved what you set out to do. If it's not, then obviously it's just bloated and overlong and repetitive. But visually stunning, makes its point well. Only problem is, repeats that point a lot.
So it could have been more of a BBC-type documentary.
You could have shortened this down, but I think Weiwei's sort of artistic cred kind of insists that this is not a straight-to-TV production.
He likes to do it his own Weiwei.
His own Weiwei.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
That is terrible. Absolutely terrible. So, news me, Needham, what you got?
Well, I want to know about this.
Okay.
Because I heard there's a new He-Man movie going.
There is a new He-Man movie
But the news is that David S. Goyer is going to direct it?
Yes, David S. Goyer is going to direct Masters of the Universe, as it's called.
Of course.
Because they couldn't just call it He-Man. That'd be too goddamn straightforward.
People might know what it's about.
Yeah, people don't know, and they might think it sounds silly. But, right, here's the thing. First of all, in 2017, you don't make He-Man first, you make She-Ra first.
Ooh.
That's a no-brainer. You make She-Ra first. We have a serious vacancy in the market for female heroes.
True.
Wonder Woman's proven that they can make serious bank. So why
and
not?
Then when you palm her off with the men, it's not as good.
And then when you palm her off with the men, she gets objectified, and there's no point to her anymore.
Might as well not be wearing any sort of trousers.
Exactly.
Well, she's not wearing trousers anyway, but you know what I mean.
And her sole greatest gag in the whole movie is taken from its animated incarnation, so yay. But enough about Justice League.
Sorry.
Yeah, so here's the thing. David Goyer, obviously, is the man who created Blade as a film series. Right.
I love Blade.
So in one sense, David Goyer is almost responsible for the modern comic book movie movement.
Oh, true.
He is also responsible, however, for writing Batman vs. Superman.
Ooh.
And Man of Steel. No, was it Batman vs. Yeah, he had a hand in Batman Superman and Man of Steel.
I hate Man of Steel.
Yeah, he is involved with the DCEU. He is increasingly terrible a writer. There are people that think that Blade Trinity is an abhorrent movie. I don't personally think that at all. I think Blade 3 is perfectly enjoyable. Not
Blade
as
2's the bad one of the bunch.
Whoa.
No, I'm not having
Wash
it.
your mouth out with soap.
Blade 2 is the worst.
No, it's not. The Del Toro one, you maniac, with Ron Perlman in it.
No, I disagree.
Hell wrong with you? Anyway.
Not enough time.
So, ignoring that, there are people who think Blade Trinity is the worst. No, it's not. Anything David Goyer has done since is the worst. David Goyer is a man who once famously said, I feel like Batman vs. Superman is something you do as a movie when you're finally willing to admit you've run out of ideas. Remind me again who wrote Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice? David S. Goyer.
Shocker.
Funny that. So, yeah. He's the guy they've chosen to direct a He-Man movie. He's taking over from McGee. So, you sort of fail upwards with this
I mean, He-Man, it's pretty lowbrow stuff, surely.
You say that. If you really dip into that animated series, there's a lot of stuff in there, actually.
Yeah, well, but it's He-Man.
You know, this is the thing, though, because the name suggests daftness that isn't inherently there, beyond the obvious 80s, Chippendale-looking dude in the metal armour.
I only think of those adverts that are on these days.
I know. Yeah, the dancing thing.
They're amazing.
Told you, they should have done She-Ra first, and then just gone and got Dwayne Johnson to turn up in the sequel as He-Man. And...
Oh my God, he is He-Man.
I just want to see him with the blonde. Actually, do you know who should play He-Man?
Who?
Right, no word of a lie. This is who I would get to play He-Man, but you have to be a little bit meta about it. You have to be willing to not take it so seriously, to lean into the Lantern Jawed aesthetics of the character and really play with the Conan-esque fantasy archetypes at work. This is who you get. Kellen Lutz.
Ooh, no.
Sounds insane, but just imagine Kellen Lutz with that blonde mop on his head. Right?
Yeah, looks
the metal armour, winking at the camera, Dwayne Johnson style. He could do it. That would be the role that made him, actually. That would be the role that made him a star.
Well...
And not just the nephew of the 30 Rock character.
Now been noted.
There you go. So, we got another review to do?
We do, A Matter of Life and Death.
Well, you might have seen this one.
I have not.
You've got grandparents. Have you not seen A Matter of Life and Death?
I have a life? I don't know.
Okay, so Matter of Life and Death, also known as Staircase to Heaven, I think, in the US. Stairway to Heaven, Staircase to Heaven.
Isn't that a song?
Yes, it's famous. It is. Powell and Pressburger movie from 1946.
That's why I've not seen it.
Stars David Niven, Kim Hunter. There's a little cameo in there for Richard Attenborough when he's really young, like Brighton Rock young.
He was never young. I'm not having it.
Before he got to Spared No Expense. There are a lot of people who think that A Matter of Life and Death is the best movie ever made.
Okay.
There are a fair few. In fact, there really is an argument that A Matter of Life and Death represents classical Hollywood better than even Citizen Kane.
Okay.
Which, I'm going to be controversial and say, I kind of would go with that, to be honest. There's something more brilliantly traditional about Matter of Life and Death.
You're going to have to tell me what it's about.
Right, that's what I'm going to go to. Okay, so, David Niven is a British aviator during World War II. His plane is shot down.
Yeah.
His crew bail out. Okay, they all die on the way down.
Oh, okay.
He's meant to die too. However, because of the fog over the channel at the time, the powers that be are unable to spot him in order to bring him up to the afterlife. So he lands on Earth, basically born anew. Where he finds love with a woman in the American military, played by Kim Hunter. And, however, the afterlife comes a-calling. And his argument is, well, you stood me up.
Had your chance.
I'm only on Earth because you messed up. And now I found love. So, I feel like you owe me that now. So it goes to trial.
Oh.
Yeah, you know the story because you've seen it done in other mediums, other shows, movies, and things like that. You've seen this story done.
I just didn't get it.
There you go. All comes from this. So Alan Frank loves this movie, which surprises me. But
why does that surprise you?
Because he never likes anything. I love Alan. Half the time I don't think he likes me, but I'm kidding. He loves me like a son, but he'd better do. Anyway, but yeah, the movie absolutely holds up. It's now back. It's in a 4K restoration, which is all the rage at the minute. We get lots of old films back in 4K restorations.
I know this is going to sound super stupid.
Okay.
Black and white?
No, actually, certain scenes are in black and white, certain scenes are in colour. It was a big deal at the time.
Right. Actually,
it was a full-fledged Technicolor production, because obviously in 46, this still isn't really a commonplace thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Okay. You'll notice from the cast list that half your cast are in black and white and half of them are in colour.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah. But the performances absolutely hold up. David Niven just has such charm. Like, it's not hard to see why Niven was... Was he our first Bond? I think he was the first Bond.
Was he?
In Casino Royale.
Oh,
the original Casino Royale.
Oh, well, I kind of assumed.
Which comes, before Goldfinger and Not to Know, sorry. It absolutely holds up. He's got the leading man charm. Kim Hunter's very likeable in it as well. It's a film that, if you haven't seen it for a long time, I hadn't seen it since I was a child, so I barely remembered it. I mean, I remember Mulan better than I remember, Matter of Life and Death. And we talked about how little I remember of that. I sat down, watched this, and I was just absolutely blown away. I just thought, there's something so wonderfully classical about, something instantly iconic about this film, where even if you've forgotten it, you look at it, oh, it's that.
Is it just?
Okay.
Is it one of those films that it's just like nice to watch?
Well, it's not even that. I mean, yeah, it is nice to watch, but it's one of those films as well. It's like when you watch 2001 now, and you think, oh, have you seen 2001 recently?
No.
Right. Okay. If you watch that movie, do this as an experiment.
Okay.
Right. Watch 2001 now.
Okay.
Okay. For presumably the first time, and just spot where all the things you've loved sci-fi wise in your life have borrowed from in that film.
Okay.
And Matter of Life and Death has loads of these as well.
Okay.
And even the staircase, there's a whole thing. You know the dream sequence from The Big Lebowski?
Yeah.
Like, that's in there. Like, that borrows from Matter of Life and Death.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those just great iconic movies that has led to so many more iconic movies.
Cool.
But, yeah, but it absolutely holds up. And I think if you've never seen it, do see this on the big screen. It's such a great experience. If you have seen it, then you already love it, and you'll want to see it again. So go and see it anyway.
So basically, everyone should
go and see it. I think everyone should go and see it.
Double bill with better watching.
Look at that image. Look at that image there. You see what I mean?
Oh, I recognise that.
You know that image. That's the staircase. Yeah, you see what I mean? It's one of those movies where you're like, oh, I know that, and I know that, and yeah.
Yeah, cool.
It's kind of like how you don't have to have actually seen Citizen Kane to know most of the scenes from Citizen Kane.
True.
Yeah, exactly like that. So, over to you, dear.
Do you want some more news?
I do.
This one is really unsurprising.
Is it really unsurprising?
Really unsurprising.
Go on, what you got?
So within 24 hours, the Avengers trailer basically broke the internet.
Okay, right. I'm going to find this out. So, when we did the last show, Kase and I were doing the recording, and at the point that we were doing the podcast extras, the trailer came out.
Yes, because it was my birthday, and I was like, what a lovely birthday gift.
Yeah, I think I'd already sent you a happy birthday, so I'm immune now. But here's the brilliant thing. I just typed immune into my iPad because I said the word out loud.
Well, why not?
So, Avengers Infinity War, the trailer came out sort of 2 minutes before the end of the last podcast.
Yeah.
Kase and I then just instantly dismissed the rest, sacked it all off. We're like, yada, 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 moment to cage. Went and watched it, were blown away.
How many times did you watch it?
Do I give you an honest answer is the question.
I'm going to have to do some of that maths, like how many people have you slept with? And then, you have to times it by 3, divide it by 7. Like.
Yeah, I think it's 5 or 6 times.
Wow.
I love it so much. I do.
I have to say, it gave me chills.
I just have so many questions, like, why does Stark have an alien arc reactor?
Yes!
It's on him in civilian clothes. Why is he wearing it?
Yeah, what's going on? What is happening?
How's Mjolnir back? But Bucky's back. Like, what the hell?
Just too many things.
So many questions.
So much going on.
I can't find the official one on... Oh, hang on. So I think I found it. This is the Marvel Entertainment official feed, right? Okay, with the Avengers. This is live as of right now.
Okay.
So this is what? This is 9 p.m. on Thursday.
Yep.
Okay, so it's been out for a week and a day, I think. Okay. It says here 90.8 million.
What?
Right, this is the most successful, most viewed movie trailer ever. It was within 24 hours. Now, the reason I think that number could actually be genuine is it had 2.4 million within 24 hours.
Wow.
So, we use the magnetic effect, the roll-on effect, exponential, etc. You tell 2 friends, they tell 2 friends.
People watch it 5 or 6 times.
People watch it 5 or 6 times, chumps who clearly have no life. And, yeah.
I feel like it's the kind of trailer where you have to watch it multiple times because there's so much going on in there.
It really is.
And you have to be like, oh, what was that? Oh, I missed that bit.
Also, I'll be honest, I kind of missed a lot because I was kind of quoting along with there was an idea to assemble a group of extraordinary individuals so that when we needed them, they could come together to fight the battles we could every time.
I have to say, as much as I love it, for me, the best trailer that's come out recently has been Black Panther.
Oh, yeah.
That trailer needs to win awards. What is that?
That's
it's
so
amazing.
Good. Have you seen the new poster that's come out today?
No.
There is a new poster. It has just come out this evening. I will try and pull it up for you on the tablet here.
When is Black Panther coming out?
I believe it's February.
Oh, it's too far.
I believe it's February because obviously Avengers is March. Is April.
Oh, God, you got me so excited then. I know April's only a month after that, but I was like... Oh, Oh, God.
Well, hang on a second. Let's see if I can find you this this wonderful poster. There it is. Here we are. Hang on. There you go. That is a new poster for Black Panther, and they're leaning heavily into the sci-fi wonder world of it, which
honestly, because I know nothing about Black Panther as well, I was just like, what is this amazingness?
If you'd like to see a sort of sample without any spoilers of this movie, if you'd like to actually see a sample of what Black Panther could be, there's an animated movie called Ultimate Avengers.
Okay.
There's Ultimate Avengers, and then they did a sequel, Ultimate Avengers, I think it's like Claws of the Panther or something like that, or Rise of the Panther, in which the Avengers team up with the Black Panther in Wakanda.
Okay.
And it's pretty good. Both those movies are pretty good, actually. But they are the ultimate versions of the characters.
Well, I'm really excited. I'm not surprised that Avengers has broken the internet because, oh my God, we need the film now.
Well, can we talk about one key thing? Because if Marvel and Fox get their stuff together, right, which looks like it might happen.
No.
Right, first of all, I've got a theory about that. Okay, apparently it could happen as early as next week.
What?
As early as next week. We could have an announcement next week. Here's my theory on that. Disney will announce that on Thursday.
Ooh.
They will announce that on Thursday when they already dominate the news.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think that's what'll happen.
Okay.
And then the day after, they'll rub it in even further and give us a new Wrinkle in Time trailer or something. But
Disney.
Here's where it ties into Black Panther.
How?
If Disney gets Fox, they've got Black Panther's wife.
Oh, is she an X-Men?
Storm.
Oh, what?
Storm's his wife.
I had no idea.
There you go.
Well, I told you I knew nothing about it.
Well, at one point, the Black Panther and Storm fill in for Reed Richards and Sue Storm in the Fantastic Four.
Well, I can't bear Fantastic Four, but I do think that I wasn't a comic book fan, so I've only seen the film, so that's why I don't like them.
The second one actually does get pretty close to being kind of accurate. But anyway, side of the point, Doctor Doom sucked. Anyway, what have we got to review? Should we talk about Menashe really quickly?
Let's do it. I'm so glad you said it, because I panicked thinking, I can't remember how to say this.
Right, so Menashe. Also, weirdly, what Ja Rule shouts out when he's losing the race in the first Fast and the Furious movie?
Is it?
It sounds like it. I've never known what the actual word is.
Can you do an impression for me?
Menashe! No! Menashe!
Nipsey!
Right, so this is set in the Orthodox Jewish community in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Right, so although the way the film is staged, it could very easily be taking place in Israel, and you wouldn't know.
Because it's in Yiddish, right?
It's in Yiddish, but it's so insular within this community. It doesn't really step out of the community at any point. They don't feel like, wander down Manhattan or anything like that. You really don't know half the time. This is Brooklyn.
Okay.
So the whole thing's basically subtitled. It's about a widower, Menashe, of the title, who is attempting to secure custody of his son. His son has been taken away by his late wife's family, who, as they put it, see him as being unfit to be a single. It's not right that he's a single parent. It's not a thing that gets done in the Orthodox
because he's
community.
a man.
Yeah, effectively. Okay. Then obviously they'd be more willing if it were he that had died and it was the mother who had survived. Right. Other way around, though, doesn't quite work. What they say is, go and find yourself an honest wife. And, you can have your son back. So it's not that we want to keep him away from you. We are simply interested in the best upbringing he can have. And the best upbringing he can have is with an actual family. That's how they see it. But, he basically finds the situation kind of intolerable. He doesn't like the idea of forced dating, as it were.
Yeah.
And he finds himself going on sort of arranged meetings and that. And them not going really that well because he's kind of upfront and honest about it.
I need me a wife so I can get my son.
But yeah, and at the same time, it causes him to sort of question his faith, to question the relationships he has, to basically question his own fitness as a father, for instance.
Okay.
And this is all leading up to pretty much the memorial for his wife as well.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting at times. At other times, it feels incredibly dense in the character stakes. It feels like you're really going into this for an exploration of the minutiae and the back and forth. But to be honest with you, I mean, because the guy's name actually is Menashe. Menashe Lustig. He's actually a genuinely charismatic performer in this sort of dowdy, kind of downtrodden, beaten down, subtle kind of a way.
Yeah.
And he is quite compelling as a result. I liked the film on the whole. I didn't come away from it punching the air or anything. I didn't immediately want the Menashe action figure or anything like that. But I did think it was quite an impressive film. It's made by Joshua Weinstein, no relation, before you ask.
I wasn't gonna.
Yeah, because this is the thing. Everyone named Weinstein has changed. I don't know if he's.
They're all now making statements on their IMDb pages.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Hang on. Apparently he doesn't speak Yiddish. He had to use a translator on the set.
Oh.
No, it doesn't say on his biography that he's not related to Harvey Weinstein. They all tend to do that now. Every Weinstein in the world has added,
you've got to make the statement,
I am not related to Harvey Weinstein, on their IMDb page.
Even when they are.
Even when they are.
To be fair, I'd want to distance myself too.
Well, I don't want to distance myself before he had a sexual assault scandal. The guy was a slime ball to begin with.
Yeah.
But, anyway. I really enjoyed it. I can't say much bad about it beyond the fact that it occasionally is a little bit too dense. But I'd say it's 82 minutes. So
it's not a big investment of time.
It's not a massive investment of time. It's rated U. It's kind of unthreatening. It's very much a soul-searching drama. And that performance at the centre really works.
Cool.
So, over to you.
Do you want to talk about another slime ball?
Another slime ball? You got a slime ball for me? What you got?
Well, Bohemian Rhapsody apparently has now been shut down.
Oh, no. Hang on. No. First of all, that's part one of a 3-part story.
What?
Strap yourself in. This is good.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So, you know Bryan Singer?
Yes.
Right. Bryan Singer, who I've got theories about. I think something's coming. I think
something's coming.
Do you know, every now and again, you get that feeling, like Louis C.K. had it recently, where 4 hours before his film was going to premiere, they cancelled it because they knew something was coming.
Yeah.
And yes, something came, and it wasn't good. Well, Bryan Singer has this every couple of years, so if it came again for Bryan Singer, it wouldn't be terribly surprising. Right.
Hasn't it already come for him, though?
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice, yes.
Hence my slime ball coming.
Yeah. Well, now it turns out he went away for Thanksgiving and never returned.
Is he, just trying to find himself, just trying to really reflect on things?
No, he's claimed it was due to a family health issue involving his parents.
Okay.
Yeah. He didn't return. He didn't tell anyone. And the cinematographer had to fill in directing for a few days.
Okay.
They then shut the film down entirely, and then 2 days later, they fired Bryan Singer. They also terminated his development deal with the studio and cleared out all his offices. Yes. That's a little odd. They then hired Dexter Fletcher to direct the final 2 weeks of the film.
Who's Dexter Fletcher?
Dexter Fletcher, if you go down the feed, you'll probably find a picture of him. Dexter Fletcher is... Oh, sorry, up the feed. Dexter Fletcher is the director of Sunshine on Leith and Eddie the Eagle. So there you go. You know when you see him.
Yes.
Yep. He was going to direct Bohemian Rhapsody. He was
originally?
Not originally, secondly.
Okay.
Right, he was going to direct it with Ben Whishaw playing Freddie Mercury.
Okay.
Right. Roughly just as Sunshine on Leith was getting a release. Right. That then didn't happen. Then it became Bryan Singer, and then it became Rami Malek, and that's what we have now. To be honest with you, I half expected Bryan Singer to have dropped out by now. Turned out, half right. So, Dexter Fletcher is back in the running, and there we are.
Well, good for him.
And Bryan Singer is now looking for a new filmmaking home, which is very odd, but okay. I mean, it just seems very extreme set of circumstances for a man who gave you the X-Men franchise.
I think we all know what's coming.
Just saying, there's something coming there.
We all know.
I really think there's something coming. And especially with that track record.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
Moving on. Yeah. Something a bit lighter.
I mean, God's sakes, the man that made Kevin Spacey a star.
Whoa, say no more. The Westboro Baptist Church drama thing.
Yes. We are getting a Weptist. A Weptist?
A Weptist church.
We got a Weptist.
I cannot wait for this. I love this stuff.
We've got a couple of them.
Oh, really?
We've actually got a couple of Westboro Baptist Church movies coming. Because there's one that's going to be based on the biography of, the daughter that escaped.
Yes.
she's getting a movie made, like a biopic made, because didn't she escape with her younger sister?
Yeah.
And then effectively has raised the younger sister, hasn't she? She's like a mother figure.
Yeah, she's now doing TED Talks and all sorts of stuff.
There you go. So there's that going on. We've got that one going on one side. The other side, Rod Lurie is going to direct Hate, a Love Story.
Nice.
Which is another story involving Westboro Baptist Church, which is going to be about I'm trying to remember the name of the soldier. I think Matthew Snyder was a Marine. A Marine lieutenant, I think, who was killed in action.
Okay.
And they protested his funeral, and the Marine's father sued them.
Oh, good for him.
Got all the way to the Supreme Court, and was then told, no, they're allowed to do it, it's freedom of speech.
Oh, God, it makes me angry.
Lance Corporal Matthew Snyder, yes. It should be mentioned, his father, whilst all this was going on as well, his father was a gay man with a dying partner at the time.
Oh, God.
So, yes, this story has heaps of tragedy on there. Please get Bryan Cranston for this. This just sounds so much like a Bryan Cranston movie. I would watch that movie in a heartbeat.
Bryan Cranston should do every movie.
Well, there is that. Except the other one about the Westboro escaping daughter.
He can do it.
Unless he's playing Fred Phelps, which I could totally see.
No, don't do that.
I could see him doing that. Clean shaven. Yeah,
No, I don't like it.
One more review then, what we got. No, we've not got any more reviews. We do.
We're all out of
so
reviews.
just over to the news then, okay.
So what about Little Mermaid? So speaking earlier as we were about Disney live action.
Yeah.
Seems like they've got a bit of a favourite, which is Rob Marshall.
Rob Marshall. I've met Rob Marshall.
I don't know him. What has he done?
Well, I met him when he was doing Into the Woods.
Oh.
He directed that.
Interesting.
He also directed Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Remember that one?
Oh.
Yeah, the one that I genuinely couldn't remember happening.
Is that the one where at some point he's in some sort of wheel? Say he Jack Sparrow and he's like...
No, that's the second one. He runs through a... Yeah, the fourth one is the one with the mermaids and Sam Claflin. And
I think that's the one I haven't
McShane.
seen. Oh, maybe I haven't seen it.
And Penelope Cruz is going around impersonating Jack Sparrow. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh,
I think I tried watching it when the fifth one was out, and I was just like, good Lord, this is terrible.
Turn this off.
So Rob Marshall's the top choice to do it. Apparently they've offered him, and he said, I'll get back to you after the holidays.
Fair enough.
So I'm just like, what do you think's going to happen? Someone's just leave you a better script as a Christmas present? What?
Maybe they've tried to add in another white female sidekick. Flounder, screw him.
Flounder is now played by Tina Fey. You know.
Oh, actually.
I'd watch that, yeah. Right, just hear me out on this one. Who do you cast as Ariel in a live-action Little Mermaid?
Do you know, I hate to say this, I feel like she's getting too old and I feel like maybe it's a bit predictable, but Amy Adams?
Amy Adams?
I know she's already done the whole Enchanted thing.
But she's also decades too old for...
I know, but she's
Isn't Ariel meant to be 15?
Technically, but they won't actually make her 15 because of the whole love story stuff. They can't do that. She'll be older.
Well, she'll be like 17, but yeah.
I know, but I know she's tall. I said that at the start, but she's like perfect. She's got the innocent eyes and the red hair already. Duh. She would have been so good.
Yeah, that's fair.
What about you?
Ariel Winter.
No, how dare you?
Why?
How dare you? I can't say on this podcast without really offending somebody. Okay. Mainly Ariel Winter. Sorry.
I like Ariel Winter.
How dare you?
Okay, fair enough. Why are we saying this? It realistically be Bella Thorne. What are we talking about?
Oh,
you know it's going to wind up being Bella Thorne.
It will, won't
totally
it?
will.
Oh, man.
Because Disney will basically look and say, we need a redhead. Who have we got on staff?
Oh, man.
And they go, well, Disney Channel's got a contract with Bella Thorne. They'll be like, yeah, sure.
Anyone else, please?
What if it was someone like Selena Gomez?
No.
This is the problem, you see. You are a girl of a certain age. Okay?
Dare you?
Right, you are a girl of a certain age that basically immediately solidifies that you grew up with The Little Mermaid.
It is like my second favourite Disney film.
Of course it is, because for every woman between 25 and 35, that is the case.
Don't reveal my age.
But that is the case.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, my sister drove me insane as a kid with The Little Mermaid. I was so tired of seeing it. But although, you know, I can still do all the lyrics to Under the Sea.
Yeah. We all can.
Yeah. And Kiss the Girl. But it's a character that it's like Belle. It's exactly like casting Belle. Nobody was happy.
Yeah, and they got that so wrong.
You say that. I'm not massively in love. I think Little Mermaid's a great movie, I think, but I don't revere it as the sacred text. The idea of casting Emma Watson, for me, as Belle, the minute I saw the Bonjour scene, I was like, Oh, okay, it works. I'll go with this. That's fine.
You're wrong.
I have a feeling Little Mermaid will go the same way.
Move on. We're never going to agree on this.
This is the thing. It's too sacred to your gender and age bracket. That's the problem.
It is.
But, yeah.
Anyway, Michael B. Jordan. So he's joined Short-Term 12 Helmer's Just Mercy. I don't even know what I just said.
Okay, well, Short-Term 12 is a movie starring Brie Larson. Very good movie. Just Mercy is the new film from the director whose name I actually forget, in which Michael B. Jordan will play a young lawyer who's out to defend the vulnerable from the wicked justice system.
Yeah, go
wicked
him.
And corrupt justice system, which is one of those things we think, if you think it's a corrupt justice system, why are you a lawyer? But
because he can change the world, man.
Yeah, of course you can. Okay.
Good on him.
Yes, that's fair enough.
Fox is planning a live-action adaptation of Goldie Vance.
Yes. You can see from the little image there. This is kind of a big deal, actually. So this is a comic book series about a mixed-race teenage girl lives on in a I think it's like a Florida resort.
Okay.
And her dream in life is to become the on-staff detective
For the resort.
For the resort.
Oh.
To solve all the cases.
Every resort has one.
However, her sort of imaginary adventures do lead her to cross paths with an international crime syndicate.
Oh, it's always the way, isn't it?
Yeah. This could be awesome.
Okay.
Make this movie. Make it right now. Sign Zendaya to a 5-film contract. Get this movie going. We need more films like this. I would absolutely see that.
Okay.
See what else we got. Oh, have you heard about the Deadpool 2 thing?
No.
Right, to promote Deadpool 2, the Brazilian Comic-Con is this weekend.
Okay.
They put out a video of Ryan Reynolds in the Deadpool gear offering free tattoos to anyone who went and registered.
What?
Giving them a choice of something like 5 Deadpool designs that you could have properly tattooed. Not like a temporary tattoo, properly tattooed on you.
By Ryan Reynolds?
Not by Ryan Reynolds, by a team of actual tattoo artists that Fox have paid for to be at the Brazilian Comic-Con.
Oh, wow.
I'm just putting it out there. If they did this in London, I'd be the first one there in line. I think Kase's roommate would be the second person there.
To be fair, it wouldn't be your worst tattoo.
To be fair, thank you.
Tell me about Crenshaw. I'm intrigued. What is this thing?
Crenshaw is a very popular children's book, it turns out.
Okay.
Right. About a giant cat. Right, as you can see from the picture, it's a giant cat. I believe that's the cover of the book. James Mangold is going to direct a live-action version of this.
And he's the one from Logan, right?
He's the guy, he directed Logan, and I think he had some time off afterwards because this week he just seems to keep announcing projects.
To be fair, if I'd done Logan, I'd need a good 2 years off after that. That must have been, intense.
Such a good movie.
It is, but it's
really
intense.
Is. So this is a young boy whose family are all fall on hard times, and his former imaginary friend, a giant cat named Crenshaw, returns to him to help him through the rough patch. That's the story. And
it sounds delightful.
It does, doesn't it? I actually interviewed James Mangold years ago for The Wolverine. Do you remember that?
Did he do that?
He did that.
That's the one that's mainly in Japan.
Yeah,
right?
he did the second and third Wolverine movies. So yeah. So,
excellent. Quentin Tarantino might be extending himself into Star Trek.
Oh.
I can't even believe I just read that.
It's heartbreaking, isn't
it?
Apparently, he pitched the story for Star Trek 4.
Okay.
And J.J. Abrams loves it. And he's assembled a writer's room to try and develop this idea into a movie so that he can produce it and Tarantino can allegedly direct it.
But aren't we still mad at Tarantino for the whole Weinstein thing? I thought we were still mad at him.
I've been mad at Tarantino for years for appropriating black culture, for, generally shoddy filmmaking, for passing mere imitation off as art.
The list goes on.
Generally being a douche, to be honest. But, if you want to take aim at him for this, then go right ahead.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, we have to talk about Coco and Olaf, don't we?
What has been going on? I still haven't seen Coco, but now I'm like, I know I'm going to turn up an hour after it's meant to start.
This is actually, you don't have to anymore. That's the point.
Oh.
Right, so Kase and I mentioned this briefly last week. Mm-hmm. So Coco has been going down a storm in the US.
Yeah.
They've had a few screenings on here.
Yeah.
I've been invited to a couple, and they've clashed with other things. I had the choice the other night of seeing Coco or Jumanji. I'll give you 3 guesses where I went. Yes, I went to the Rock movie, yes.
I would have made that choice too, I'll be honest.
You kind of would, wouldn't you? Like, well, I know the Pixar one's going to be good.
Yeah.
I don't know about Jumanji, though. That's an unknown quantity.
Don't tell us anything about it yet.
I'm embargoed.
Ooh,
and the worst part is I've forgotten when the embargo drops. So
Excellent.
I kind of just have to shut up forever, really, and wait for other people to talk.
I'm very pleased about Jumanji coming out.
Yes,
Very
I am
pleased.
as well.
Anyway, Coco.
So Coco comes with a 25-minute long Olaf short before it.
Surely you can't call it a short anymore.
Well, it's called Olaf's Frozen Adventure. It was designed as a TV special, hence why it neatly fits into a half-hour slot with adverts. People have not been happy about it. This is what Kase and I were saying last week. There's been a lot of backlash online.
Is it because of the length? Is it because of the actual
There's
thing
the length
being
of
crap?
it. There's the length of it. You sit through half an hour of ads and trailers,
And then half an hour of
sit
this.
through half an hour of let's promote Frozen.
Yeah.
Let's promote the franchise we actually care about. There's also a certain racial element that's not gone unnoticed, which isn't it interesting that Disney put out this this film aimed largely at Latino cultures, Latin Americans, etc., and have then stuck their Nordic white people thing before it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's been said a lot on Twitter.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
And that's something that, as a white woman, I wouldn't have picked up on, so that is interesting.
Yeah, it's something you think, I wouldn't have considered it. And to be fair, that's one of the things you wouldn't consider if it wasn't happening to you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Disney have responded by pulling it.
Well, good.
Yes, so if you want to see it, God knows now. Although I'm pretty sure there'll be a special edition of Frozen released now with it on.
Snore.
Well, isn't there a...
I didn't even really like Frozen.
Oh,
I know that's
I
sort
like
of
Frozen. I love
sacrilege
Frozen.
to a lot of people, but it was fine.
Frozen was good. I like Frozen.
Fine.
Can still sing the song.
I'm sure you can.
I do in the car all the time. I will freely admit I do sing. I sing "Let It Go" in the car. I really do.
Do you know where I do sing it?
Go on.
In the shower, because the acoustics are amazing. What is that from?
Scrubs? Is that Scrubs?
Someone please tell me where that's from.
I have no idea. It sounded like Scrubs. Oh, I don't know. I feel like I've skipped something in the news. There was something I wanted to talk about. I've absolutely lost it.
I don't know. I think I'm out.
I think, are we actually out? I'm sure. Oh, they're going to remake Cleopatra Jones. That's something.
What's that?
Blaxploitation classic. Remember Foxy Cleopatra in Austin Powers 3? Where do you think that was ripped off from?
I thought that was a purely original concept.
Nothing about Beyonce is an original concept. She's just Tina Turner for millennials.
How dare you?
That's something she's never been called before.
Yes, well.
Well, actually, until Tommy Lauren got hold of her on Twitter yesterday. That was interesting.
Ooh, I didn't see that. What was that?
Oh, Tommy Lauren took issue with Beyonce giving an achievement award to Colin Kaepernick.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Beehive ain't going to be happy.
Yeah. Oh, there is one piece of news. You know The Shape of Water?
I don't.
Right. You're not aware of this film at all?
No.
Okay, so this is the latest film by Guillermo del Toro.
Ooh.
It opens, I think, over Christmas in the New Year. It opens in the Christmas holiday in the US, I think. And it's now. It opens now in the US, and I think it's towards the backside of the Christmas holiday here.
Okay.
This stars Sally Hawkins as I think she's mute or deaf. She speaks in sign language anyway.
Okay.
And she works in a Cold War era underground laboratory, basically as a janitor.
Okay.
And her only friend is Octavia Spencer.
If you're going to have a friend...
You got to have Octavia Spencer, I know, right? So she discovers that this underground secret laboratory has a pool of water containing a fish man.
What?
Who looks an awful lot like Abe Sapien from Hellboy. That there is genuine talk that this actually is a sidequel to Hellboy, that this could be Abe Sapien.
Well, there seems to be a connection between those two films.
And the idea is it's a love story between this mute woman
gross.
and Psychic Fishman.
Okay.
And apparently a full-blown physical love story.
We're talking Splice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, a woman and fishman.
Not one for the kids.
Not one for the kids. It looks fantastic. It's had really good reviews. I've got a few friends who've seen it, like LFF and Evening Screenings, etc. And they all have come away raving about it. Okay. It's quite a low budget thing, but still Toro, he makes a lot work with very little. Apparently, it was almost even less of a budget, though. He wanted to make it in black and white.
Oh.
Yes, to go with the whole B-movie Grindhouse.
I think that probably would have worked.
Apparently, it was just a ploy, though, to get more money out of them.
Oh, I see.
They then said, we'll give you more money if you make it, we'll give you twice the money if you make it in colour. He's like, all right, cool.
You only get away with that once, surely.
Yeah. He has turned around and said, though, he's not going to pull a Mad Max, he's not going to pull a Logan, there will not be a black and white version put out later. Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, he says it now.
I don't know, he tends to stick to his word. But it looks terrific anyway. I can't wait. I watched the Movie Bob review earlier. He was quite a fan. So
You said it's out Christmas-ish.
Christmas-ish.
Okay, cool.
Christmas-ish. We shall find out for sure, but I think it's Christmas-ish. But alas, that is all we have time for, really, this week, then.
Nothing else to do?
We have chewed all the fat.
If only there was some sort of moment that we could share.
You mean like a moment of cage?
You fire that weapon, 20 pissed off prisoners are gonna hear it. Comprende, ese? Hooray for the sounds of silence.